controls. Anybody out there? Yes. All right, we are live, and let me throw this comment up.
And no, I'm not Steve Winter. I know everybody. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
You resemble him a little bit. The haircut.
Yeah, we're both bald, aren't we?
Yeah. Hello, people. This is not Steve Winter, but Don graciously agreed to come on. We might have another guest popping in as well to talk Star Frontiers and gaming. And I have not had any communication with Steve for 24 hours after we set this up. And
wait a minute, you set this up less than 24 hours ago.
No, I set it up a week ago, but then I told him, I says, yeah, I'll send you a note, reminder. Gotcha. 24 hours beforehand. Gotcha. And then I sent him the link today, and about 30 minutes ago I sent another message like, hey, hope to see you at Apes. But he has not seen any of the, you know how you can in Instant Messenger, you can see that somebody has seen. He's not seen these messages, so I'm hoping nothing has happened. Like,
absolutely. Hope he's okay.
Nothing serious. But we just figured we'd go on and talk Star Frontiers a little bit.
Or we could talk the better sci-fi game.
There is no better sci-fi game.
I better be careful. I'm on Tom's channel now.
So, let me do a little screen share here and pull up. What started this out, and I need to pull up that. There we go.
That's an interesting image. Almost like a.
So this is his Steve's module, Click Clack, and there we go. Come on. Oh, geez, what is up with this? All right, and then it's going to put me in the first spot. That's just great. All right. So Click Clack was an alternating module, and you had the Clicks, who originally appeared in Star Frontiers, and I asked him a question about this because in the it was what was the name of the module? Sundown on Star Mist. You had the Clicks. Now you see here they're spelled two different ways: CLICKKS and then CLIKK. And when they were first introduced, they were the one way, and then they dropped a consonant down to CLIKK for click ships, click relics.
But why would they do that?
I think in the guy's head who was writing it, a guy named Spiegel, he's just clicks, and and you forget how you're spelling it, and it wasn't caught in the editing, and so then you had this. Somebody had said to me that the clicks were also in Star Drive Alternity. And so I went out and bought this product specifically. And
you bought the PDF?
Oh no, I have. Well, I downloaded the PDF. I didn't pay for that.
How is it? What kind of what's the module like?
So hold on, let me get us back on screen here if I can. I guess I got to remove this. There we go. So I bought that, got it on eBay and read it, and which was really cool because there's a click base, there's a click spaceship. It's got one of those like 3D cut, where they do the 3D cutaway. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. So it was a massively cool module, and the adventure reads like the Colonial Marines from Aliens. And you remember in Aliens when Hicks says, "Not another bug hunt"?
Yeah.
Well, this is like the bug hunt prequel to Aliens because it's kind of a bug hunt, and
Oh.
it's effectively a dungeon crawl in space. So,
Well, that's pretty cool.
and it's not part of the Hickman. Let's tell a story, and here's the story beats, and we're going to railroad the players through it. It's very much a dungeon crawl, like a sandbox of this alien base, and so it's very, very cool. Let me just pull up this other. I see there's another comment here I missed. Captured by Sathar. Give us back, Steve. Damn it. Yes. So, I just had this in my head that it was both the clicks. So I started a conversation with Steve last week, asking him to confirm that it was, and he's like, "Nah, no, I don't think so." They just handed me this idea. But for me, the spelling's too close. And if somebody in TSR handed him the idea, I think they were like, "Oh, this wasn't." There we go.
Yeah, but let's face it. Back then, in the early days of TSR,
Whoops.
well, hello. I think I know who that lady is.
Hi, guys.
It's RPG Grandma. How you doing, Laura?
I'm doing okay. I mean, I'm alive and kicking.
Alive and kicking?
That beats other options, right?
Tom, why don't you place that lady up top? I'll take the bottom, okay?
Let me take this thing out of my ear so I can hear you guys better.
There we go. All right, there we go. A little bit better.
If you want to move her up top, put me on the bottom next to you. I'm fine with that. Put her up there for me. She can be up there with you.
I don't know how to do that.
Grab her screen and drag it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Easy peasy, nice and easy.
See, I just learned something.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Laura, how you doing? Oh, doesn't have her earbuds in.
Oh, she's lost her earbuds.
Sorry, guys.
All right, you sound far away and underwater.
There you go.
There we go. Much better.
It's that thing.
So how you doing, Laura?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
I'll be telling everybody my full name. Don't want them doxing me at my job, man.
Do I know your last name? I don't think I know your last name.
You do. Just don't give out the last one.
Yeah.
All right.
I've already got an RPG. I'm already on the internet under my legal name.
She shall be known as RPG Grandma by me tonight.
Yeah, RPG Grandma. Well, so how are the kiddies doing? I know you one of the last times we talked, you were running RPGs for like the kids.
It was a big group, yeah, it was a lot. We're down to now just the adults and the children who became adults. Sometimes because they're all out, doing stuff now, but they're all 18.
Right.
So it's down to an all adult group right this second.
Oh, nice.
Which is nice. Has other possibilities for the grown-ups. I might actually be able to talk them into Skate Wizards one of these days to play that game.
Oh, nice.
One I would never play with kids.
Right. Right. Well, one of the things I was planning on talking to Steve about was there was a lot of horror elements in this module. And to me, I had this idea in my head that Mothership, which was been a hot topic, a hot property of late, with a lot of Kickstarters and a lot of material produced for it, very successfully had done the sci-fi mixed with horror, body horror, invasion of your body by aliens stuff. And as I was reading this Click Clack, there was like a revulsion roll for the stuff you were seeing and finding in the module, and I thought that was really cool, an interesting precursor to Mothership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're into all that genetic manipulation and modification.
Yep.
Right.
Well, that was right before you came on. I did a side by side of Kerrigan from. Let me get it out of the plastic. It was, or I could just do the share screen again. Kerrigan from StarCraft, and then this cover, and share. And where is it? Oh, go the other way. That clearly, because StarCraft came out in '98 and Click Clack came out in '99, I'm thinking somebody was riffing off of Kerrigan, although there's no Kerrigan-like figure in
No,
in Click Clack.
no. There's no borrowing of ideas from role playing game to role playing game. Never. They would never do that.
Source. Oh, I think we lost Don.
We lost Don?
Yep. Here he is, back.
I'm back.
You're back.
Sorry about that. Oh, it is Tom's revenge tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna boot you a couple of times. The squirrels aren't running the generator for you, are they?
It's the giant hamsters. The giant hamster.
Giant hamster.
The giant space hamster.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just so he offered to come on my show and talk about Click Clack, and I just thought, have you guys ever done anything with the clicks? These were a truly alien. They didn't get an illustration in Star Frontiers, but a few illustrations have popped up over time.
They were one of the more vague races.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the game. And I don't remember doing anything with them directly, but they are an open territory to just have fun with. Absolutely.
And go ahead. Go ahead, Don.
I'm just saying, and me and Tom, Tom knows about this about me. I really didn't play a lot of Star Frontiers. I was big Gamma World.
That's all right.
I know, you forgive me for it. I know. But the thing is, just from the little bit I've heard about them, I think RPG Grandma really nailed it,
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot there that's not there that I think, I think they're really open-ended.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of possibilities with them.
The Sathar had that whole genetic engineering and cyborging and all the stuff that they did as well. So a lot of times I think the Sathar got more print time because they were the main baddies.
Yeah.
And so some really cool races, and even minor races that opened up interesting ideas really got overlooked in the game, to be honest. And even, as we're playing as fans, like right now, playing another game system, but Star Frontier is sitting there going, when are you going to play with me again? When are you going to
Well, Tim one time told me, he was talking about, it wasn't Star Frontiers, but I think it relates to it. Is he was talking about D&D and kind of Gary's attitude towards development of D&D secondary characters, classes, races, and like he said, he goes, a lot of times what would happen is some of these races and classes would become pet projects, a favorite. So they would really heavily. That's why when you look at like early D&D, certain classes seem a little underdeveloped, and some seem a little bit more, more higher developed. Same thing with races. So probably that's what happened with Star Frontiers. It was just like a really cool main baddie, and they ran with it more than others, and maybe had plans later on for Clacks, but they sat there and they just never got to it because the IP, what happened to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they may have been rolled into other D&D products.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that happened as
because
well.
because there's a couple D&D monsters or monster races that you could argue, is it based on the Fence from Arduin, or is it
Yeah.
based on the Rusk from Star Frontiers? But they don't really seem like the Rusk. They seem more like the Flats, the Clicks, with their design of the front, because they had a different it seemed like to me they had a different uh hand design, if you will. That, if I remember the species right, that was one of the things. Like the tech was different. Um, and there is an insect race. I think it's in Space Jammer that does all kinds of genetic
Yeah.
manipulations and does stuff to its body. And again, it was there. It had great potential. It still has great potential if you're playing D&D. And but it gets overlooked. It gets missed by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and in fact, they do. They even get confused because they're into the body modification. So somebody comes to them to say change their identity, and they go out of their way to change the guy's identity, and then he gets mad at them
Yep.
for change, like making him bald or something, genetically bald. And but they're like, no, you wanted a disguise. This is perfect. So I think some of these races either got rolled into other stuff TSR did later, or at the same, or at the same time, or WotC, depending on who's doing what when, and then they got combined with maybe other monster ideas they had.
Yeah.
Because they absolutely recycled stuff all the time. Like I can point to stuff and go, yeah, that's a Star Frontiers monster running around in D&D.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the Displacer Beast from D&D and you look at the Quick Death from Star Frontiers,
oh yeah, they're related.
It's clear that there's a relationship there, and I do believe it's been a while since I looked at it, but I think the Star Frontiers races from Alpha Dawn were included in D20 Future.
Yeah, I think they got renamed a couple times depending on which version of the game. Which what was it? What they called it? They had that one Alternity or something like that name. Yeah. There's things in there where you're like, that's a Neuralicide, man.
Well, Alternity, there was an Alternity module that triggered this whole conversation with Steve Winter that was going to result in him being on the show, just because of that whole click clack. Because I always had it in my head that, oh yeah, this is finally the development of the clicks that we needed in our Star Frontiers that we never got. And
right.
So yeah,
I think there's a lot of cool stuff in Alternity that can be easily ported back into Star Frontiers. I don't have Alternity, but I've done enough research to be like, yeah, that's definitely a Yarzarian.
Well, there was a Star Frontiersman issue that had all of the Alternity races converted for Star Frontiers.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was out there if you wanted to play Star Frontiers and include, and I think some players had, like connections between the two settings. You could travel.
Well, yeah, because they give you the home world for some of the races
in
Alternity.
Yeah.
They give you actual home world that we didn't get in Star Frontier because the games were what was in fashion when Star Frontiers was made versus later when Alternity was made.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the mandate was that they wanted it to be the frontier, and like if you think of the Western frontier, they were out of communication with back east for the most part. So I think that was the idea was there's no communication with the home world, so you're not going to have, the United Nations or the Soviet bloc
coming to rescue you.
showing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in the frontier. It's all on you guys, sink or swim with these baddie aliens that are here.
And they're assuming they're even in the same galaxy that they left.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
explicitly, and Jess Carver is really good for reminding me that the book says that this is not even the same galaxy as
Right.
Earth.
Right. But we know originally the plan was that there was going to be a Terra and all that stuff, and then they junked it because of what was in the other space games that was super popular with this open universe and open galaxy, and it's not the Milky Way, and you can do whatever you want. So they went vague on purpose. I know they did.
Yeah.
Which was fine. It was just fine. But then later people like, and then you end up turning around, and then you've got other games TSR put out or watching whoever was printing when and what, and then they're filling in the gaps.
Yeah. Well, I like having Earth in my setting, but like 1,000 light years away, so you can't communicate with it. But I've always been that way, and I'm like, I get it. Officially, the rules say no Earth.
Well, they put the tetrarchs in there, and once they did that, and once I read the Star Empire's timeline, I'm like, oh, well, maybe the Sathar are hostile because of the humans.
Yeah.
Because if you go read that timeline, the tetrarchs are there. They're there. Yeah.
I knew that. I think I knew that, but I kind of forgot it.
Yeah. And then the humans from Earth, they wipe everybody out. They take over everything and cause a massive war with an insect race. We don't know which one. And both of them go Doomsday Planet, making Doomsday robots to kill everything. And everybody's plunged into a dark ages. So if the Sathar remember that, the first time they see humans again, what are they going to do? Like, oh no, we got to get rid of these guys. We remember what happened last time. So I've always wondered if, the bad guys, if there's a logic behind the bad guys other than just they're xenophobic. Because they didn't kill all the other races necessarily, because they worked with them. There's other races they worked with.
Yeah, the Zurich-Core.
Yeah, like the Snowballers. Everybody goes, oh, they're Wookiees. They're not Wookiees. If you read how they're described, they're furry humans. They have the exact same DNA sequence as the other humans in the game, other than the fact that they have the gene that makes them furry all over.
Yeah.
So they're human.
Well, you also have you have different writers writing for something that was. Do you hear my dog panting?
No, okay. I don't.
Because he's laying
right next. Hear the dogs barking in 3 rooms over.
Okay,
right here. Why we're in this room?
It's like listening to somebody who did crank calls and just like he's right there, and I'm like,
not that good. There he is.
He's distracted
on the internet.
So I was worried you were picking him up. Part of the problem is you had all these different writers writing things, and one of the things I was going to bring up to Steve Winter tonight was he wrote Ambush on Losen, which was in Polyhedron 14, I think. And I was I had AI. I took all the information I had on Losen and I gave it to the AI. I says, "Are there any scientific problems with this?" He goes, "Well, the temperature during noontime on this planet on Losen would be 135 degrees Fahrenheit." And I was like, "Oh, that's a little bit extreme."
Yeah, people need to be inside with AC on, huh?
Yeah, underground. Yeah, and it's an agricultural planet, so how do the crops survive? So it was you get people just writing things and
It
they don't
sounds
know.
like a cool idea.
They
Then
don't know the science. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know the science. Well,
But
also you get people writing things where they, Star Frontiers didn't have a whole lot of books. So
no.
setting-wise, you should have known things like, hey, the time in the game works differently than Earth time, or, or little things like that. But then I can't get too mad at them because of this. I mean, that's a little thing. We can fix that with them being on planetary time or something, and not on galactic time, pan-galactic time. Um, this special little project of mine.
Okay. All right. So it's
The
backwards.
guy, who wrote this, and when I saw it listed as the worst module ever made by TSR for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, I said, surely not. Surely not. Right? It is exactly what everybody said. And even I'm like, look, I haven't played AD&D 1E in a long time, but this rule doesn't seem right. I mean, I haven't really played this game in a long time, not this edition. And then then you go find the book. You go, no, no, that's not in these books. And then you go, maybe it's in Basic. No, it's not in any of the versions of Basic. Okay, is it an original D&D book? No, this guy just made stuff up and said it was AD. And there's actual rules, and it's supposed to be teaching you how to play the game. It's both the players and the DM.
Now, I'm trying to read that backwards because the camera's flipped. Is that
It's the Forest Oracle.
Forest
the
Oracle.
Forest Oracle. Yeah. I haven't even gotten to I've been doing like little episodes on it, and I've got to do the next section. But the next little encounter, and I haven't even gotten to the creepy stuff. And by creepy, I mean, what were they thinking of putting this in print twice? That all the buxom young ladies are 16 and naked. Why?
In a product marketed to 13, 14-year-old boys.
Yeah. I'm thinking they got to be thinking it's for teenage boys. Okay, please let that be the thought process, because one of those, two, might be just a little over the top, guys. So I can see why people have an issue with it. Like, oh, here's this problem, here's that problem. But the only thing I can figure is it started out as there actually is three. Either somebody had they had like a list of random ideas and they decided to shove them all together. So you get this guy, but then make it into a railroad. So it does not work well. Or they started with a sandbox idea and somebody else came along and was like, no, it needs to be a railroad. So it is crazy when you read it and you're just like, huh? Why? What do you mean he doesn't know about this and his what? Why is the inn in the middle of the forest? What?
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this then. You're saying that it is as bad as everyone says it is.
Oh yeah.
Would you consider it better or worse than the worst Star Frontiers modules, which are pretty universally considered to be 2001 and 2010?
Well, 2001 and 2010, their downside is that you're reenacting a movie.
Right.
So you're playing through a movie, which makes them weird and railroady, okay, and strange, but not unfixable, okay. And if you've seen the movie, you kind of know that's what you're going to be playing. So you're kind of signing up for that weirdness. This is just odd. You're constantly left with questions. as you're going through um, and reading it. And they give you a village without giving you a village. Like they tell you to go, go look at the village map, but there's no village map. Things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, guys, were you drunk when you made it? What? I mean, because there is an author, and I would just really like to sit down and say, Carl, what were you thinking? Everybody wants to know on the net. No, was this your first attempt? I mean, what, for real, what were you thinking? So we can help other people write adventures. You know, that
I had,
this is not the way.
I had no idea it was that bad. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you're left with things like, and that's why when people say, "Well, there's no oracle," there is an oracle. It just doesn't get used. I figured that out. Like there's places where, um, like I said, it seems like it started out as a sandbox, but turned into something else. And
Right.
that's me just looking at it like maybe they had started a different module and then they did this other thing instead.
Um,
Um,
that sounds like a good summation because Star Frontiers was designed to compete with Traveler and it was targeted at your like college age crowd, and they took it away from Zeb at the last like a month, and within a month they re-edited it by committee and did a can setting and targeted it at 12-year-olds, and so that's not that far-fetched of an idea.
yeah, see, I could see that happening. Like maybe Carl had like a rough draft, and then other people, I don't know, or maybe somebody else had a rough draft, and then they gave it to Carl to finish
Right.
and do whatever, and so we get this really weird, like I don't know because we can't ask anybody. Not
Right.
really, I don't think. Like
Well,
I
you track
don't.
down Carl and ask him.
Yeah, yeah. Carl Smith, if you're out there, please. Now, do
We
I
want to
think
interview you and trash your module.
it's already been tracked? I would like to be able to interview him and talk about like if he made this today,
Yeah.
what he would do different, what was
Maybe put a
going
village
on.
in.
Yeah, because he was an editor for TSR. So
Right.
what was going on that these, at that moment in time? Because a lot of times things that are going on internally in a company will affect a product
Right.
massively, as you know. So, but you can buy it cheap, reprinted, which is what I did
Mm-hmm.
because I had to see. I had to see, but I wasn't going to pay like $60 for quote the worst
Right.
from eBay or someplace. Okay, it wasn't happening. So, but
Well,
but uh, the thing is, you can fix it.
yeah.
It's dawned on me as I'm working through it. You can fix this,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
but you have to be willing to put the work in to fix it. On the other hand, if you're new to sandboxes and things like this, is it could be a good exercise for people. I even talked about turning it into a sci-fi campaign.
Oh,
Um, and people are like, huh? Because you can reskin anything, really.
sure.
But
Sure.
uh, yeah. So I don't think anything that was put out for Star Frontiers was this non-logical, while still forcing players to do things.
Right.
you know.
I mean,
Um,
Star Frontiers has some railroads. It's
oh
you
yeah, yeah. No. It even has a railroad module. So you're on the railroad. So, so I mean, for real. So, and hey, that's your DM telling you you're on a railroad. When the module starts, you are boarding a train, space train, you know, the Orient Express. You're going on a railroad of some kind. Sit back,
yeah,
enjoy the ride.
So, Chameleon Dream, thank you for coming on. We figured we'd still do a show, and I appreciated Don, who had technical difficulties, had to restart his computer, but didn't make it back in, and RPG Grandma for coming in. Just these are great folks that I appreciated them coming on, and just to see if maybe Steve showed up late. He'd show up late, we'd put him in the show late, but I just want to thank everybody who came and watched anyways, and for Dawn and for RPG Grandma.
Well, the Click Clack. They had didn't they have the anti-grav tanks off the top of my head?
That was Sundown on Star Mist, and
yeah, Star Mist, right?
It was a bolo-sized tank, which means it was massive, and it was like a hover tank, an anti-grav tank. And I always thought, like, why would a military species like the Click need a tank that big? You have to have a threat that scares them enough to build a tank that big.
Yeah, right.
And the only thing I could come up with is that they abandoned the Clicks, the Heliopes on Star Mist 700 years ago, approximately, according to the module. And the Sathar visited Volturnus 900 years ago. So they're kind of in the same neighborhood, spacefaring. And I thought, well, all right, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they got in it with the Sathar.
So, maybe that's a historical. It's RPG Grandma. Tammy's asking if.
Oh my gosh.
So she came in, and then Dawn's computer frapped out on him. And
that's okay, because these are Star Frontier people, so it's okay.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Dawn was subbing. It's
we've been discussing Forest Oracle, the worst D&D module of all time.
Oh my gosh.
And I had heard that. I just couldn't read it, the cover backwards.
I think it's an internet challenge. Everybody who thinks they can write a good module should make themselves the new editor of this.
Right.
Pretend they're an editor, and now they've got to fix the module for whatever game system or game they're playing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good mental exercise for when you have something that you're going into that's going to be not great. Because all the time when you get role-playing games, missing page 11, and then you got to write the company, right? Hey, did you guys know you left the chart off that we need to resolve combat? Whatever it is.
Well, my trouble on Janus module is missing a page. Well, the PDF. So it's like, let's say it was page 14. So there's a 13 and then a 15, but no 14.
Well, but my PDFs are gone because my computer crashed.
So that's my PDF. Well, then I'll send you a new PDF.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah, so I don't even know if there's like this page that's missing from it. I don't even know if it was there to begin with.
Right. Because especially stuff that people typed up themselves or whatever, or survived a con to make it into the internet for us all to see. Sometimes you just get what you get.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was kind of a just something somebody did in '87, I think, for Mass Confusion Con. Yeah. So it was a convention module, and who knows if there was an actual page there. I don't know. But
I mean, I had fun making stuff up for it.
I know. I remember that. You made a big project of it.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you switched over to Gamma World, and we're doing things like the Beaster Bunny, and
yeah.
You were converting Gamma World creatures for Star Frontiers there for a while.
Yeah, they just TSR space is what I call it. Is it potentially a space monster that TSR put in a game, in any game? Then clearly it must come to Star Frontiers. That was the project at the time. So just so you know, I'm well aware doppelgangers seem to have been coming out of that spaceship that was crashed in the Barrier Peaks. That means in my mind somewhere on some planet there is a planet of doppelganger.
Or maybe they're just using hollow field technology.
No, that could be too. Yeah, you know, maybe
Also,
they're the reason the ship crashed.
those robots in that Barrier Peaks module had
Oh
tentacles.
yeah,
So I always
they're great.
imagine them being Sathar built because of the tentacles.
You're right, right?
Well,
Yeah, yeah. That barrier peaks. I don't know how it was everybody else, but and when that came out, all the kids who were playing D&D, um, we all had our different little play groups and stuff. Not everybody played with each other, but you knew at school who played D&D. It
yeah.
became a thing at lunch. How far did your group get through before you're all TPK? Like whoever could get furthest, and then you all go do it again. Oh, we got here.
Well, I actually just TPK'd in Star Frontiers in Crash on Volturnus with an AI running the game, and it TPK'd me because it just went random encounter, Rasties, 1 to 10, 10, and it was just me and an NPC companion against 10 Rasties, and that didn't go very far.
No, that's not going to go well.
No, that was a TPK, and
Yeah.
and then it offered a narrative fix, and I went, sure, go ahead, show me what you got for a narrative fix, and it latched onto when you're in the desert traveling with the Ulmor, but you can't travel with the Ulmor, you got to follow behind them.
Mhm.
And it says if like combat erupts, they'll show up in 5 turns.
Right.
And so it grabbed that, which was from the desert, but we're now in the caverns, and that's not a feature in the caverns. But I thought it was interesting that it said, "Oh, we need a narrative fix here," and it grabbed that.
You got
And
the Olmar, some random Olmar in the
so the
cavern.
Olmar came, charging out of a side passage and ran off the Rasties and killed a bunch of them. And then
Olmar are everywhere watching.
yeah, so the telepathic link that they have, the shaman telepathically awoke the NPC who was unconscious, and then she used medical technology on my character, so that was its narrative fix. But I haven't had the heart to go back to the game because I TPK'd.
You TPK. You got to start over.
So, yeah,
Start over with new, fresh victims who can find the bodies of your previous character.
So I thought that was interesting, and I just switched over to playing Keep on the Borderlands with that AI, just to see how it would do. And
Yeah, I haven't tried to use AI yet. For like that, I haven't. But like right now, I'm fiddling around with Oil Adventures, so
right,
yeah. And Shadow Dark.
yeah. Oh well, hey, a little side note here on Steve Winter. He mentioned to me that he had he had a Shadow Dark game he was playing in. I thought, oh, that's cool.
Oh.
He's playing Shadow Dark, so
That's cool.
yeah, because I've only played it a couple of times.
I'm having fun with it. Some people like it, some people don't. I mean, the things that people say they would like to be different. I understand. Um, I'm just blessed. If I show up and I'm ready to play a game, and everybody else is ready to play a game, and I say, "Hey, I've got a new lethal game," everybody goes, "Yeah!" And it doesn't even matter what it is. as long as I just hand them pre-made characters, we're good to go.
Right. Well, that's you truly are blessed then, because I have seen groups of people where the idea of introducing a new game is no, we only like D&D 3.5. That's all we want to play. And I'm like,
Well, we did a whole bunch of first edition games, like games at TSR, like early stuff, never made again. some of them because of lawsuits, but or cease and desist letters, um, but and things like that. Where I'm like, or this is the first edition of this game, so it's gonna be rough, and everyone was like, okay. And so and I finally asked, why are you guys so willing, to play a game you don't know the rules to? That I'm
Mhm.
literally just showing up and saying, hey, I've got first edition Metamorphosis Alpha, let's play it. Or uh, Gamma World, or which is a lot like Metamorphosis Alpha, but they really built Metamorphosis Alpha is Gamma World. It's just in space.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why they're willing to be like, yeah, let's play Shadow Dark. Yeah, let's play, basic D&D, or let's play Warriors of Mars, or whatever it is I'm showing up with. And they said, well, we trust you.
Oh, so it's relationship. Yeah. Because
They know I'm not trying to, and I warn them, like, if I think the game is lethal, if I think it's really rough and lethal, I'm going to say, this is extremely lethal. Like, you get 2 hit points. That's it. You know? Everything will kill you, and not on a natural 20. Like, it depends on what you're fighting. If it rolls a 10, you're dead. If it
Right.
rolls a 6, you're dead. You have to hit an 18.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah. So they're like, oh, okay. So they know. I give them fair warning too. And then we talk about whatever happened in the game. On the other hand, whoever dies first gets to sit around when the rules the table, and or they can leave and come back, but if they're not just coming back in with another character.
Right.
Right now they have multiple characters because of Shadow Dark. But and they get to go there and go, you're going to die. You're going to die next. You're going to die. And they walk off. They come back. Ooh, it looks like you're going to die.
So I wanted to ask you something. When you brought up the Forest Oracle, what is your favorite old school D&D module?
Really, God, generally I make my own. However, I did really like Barrier Peak, despite the fact that as a kid I died in a lot. Liked the Keep on the Borderlands. I liked Village of Hamlet. In fact, I like Village of Hamlet more as looking back at it, and I would definitely use it again because as I'm an older, more experienced player and
Right.
game master than I was when I had that first in my hot hands. And I've noticed that most people who have it miss a ton of stuff that's in it. Like it just goes right over their head if you're not looking for it. And that's what makes that one so good.
Mm.
A lot of the ones other people have played, there's some I may have played because like I play as a player with some other folks online, and sometimes that GM pulls like an old module and puts part of it in there, and I'll be like, wait a minute, no, I think I know which one this is, but I'm not sure because unless I have it in front of me, which I do not have all of D&D's modules, to go look. Oh, the Lost City. Lost City. I really like the Lost City. The Lost City is so cool. And it's so different. They're out in the desert.
It literally is a sandbox.
Yeah, literally is. Yeah.
That's right.
Out in this desert, lost in the desert, and you got to get in this pyramid because the sand's. Yeah. It's that one's cool, factions and stuff. But Gary did a great job on the Village of Hamlet, and I don't think people know what they're looking at, especially people who go on their philosophical ways to play D&D. Yeah. that I don't think they know what it is.
Mm.
I don't think they know what it is. I really don't, because there's so much in there. There's factions that have that if you spend the time to read it, you'll be like, wait, this guy's related to this guy, and they report to this dude over here who has this political interest and this agenda, which is in conflict with this other guy over here and his little spies and his like. There's all this stuff happening in the village that I don't think people catch on to.
You almost need a flow chart.
Yes, and so it has all these elements. That's the new thing that to talk about in old D&D. You know, how did they play old D&D right? You know, in the good old days. And I don't think people realize there's all this stuff happening here. They never seem to realize that if they kept playing Hamlet, a castle would get built, and that's going to change the dynamic of the village, because they're building a keep or whatever. They're building a fort, some kind of fortification in there. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the module. There's just a lot. So if you wanted to play at village versus I'm going to show up there and try to steal everyone's silver or some nonsense, you've got everything for a living village with people who are in conflict. You even got like a secret, like in the inn, there's a secret room that the bartender knows about that has all these weapons and armor, because they remember last time they dealt with the armies of evil, you know? And so they're hiding all this stuff to protect the village. You should be asking questions like, why do the villagers need to hide the equipment to defend themselves? So, like, who is this guy hiding it from who might be in the village who's going to tell the evil temple about their stuff?
Right.
Or maybe a king who has a problem with peasants having weapons. I don't know. But anyway, you've got to, you know, there's so much stuff in there that people just like, they put all the copper pieces and silver pieces. Like the players are going to steal from everyone. Well, do you know players? They just go to totally
Back then, you know, I think murder hoboing was just part of what we did.
Right.
You know, it was, oh wait, the sergeant at the keep on the Borderlands has a +1 plate mail armor.
Well, I need that.
Yeah.
Even though the rest of the guard will
+1 plate mail armor in the caves of chaos, so I'm gonna have to get it from the sergeant.
Right. Even though everybody's totally gonna know it's the sergeant's +1 day mail.
So yeah.
What do you mean everybody in town knows? Well, it's got a unique design on it. And somebody murdered the sergeant and took his plate mail. I totally found this in the caves. No, you didn't.
Wonder who did that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, we've been on close to an hour, and I really appreciate you coming on. Certainly have appreciated kibitzing with you about Star Frontiers for how long has it been now? Decade and a half?
Yeah. I'm a little rusty right now, but I've been still going through the Star Frontiers rules because I got to do a space game soon because I'm getting the itch.
Well, your handle in the forums on starfrontiers.us, that was to Klinkso, wasn't it?
Yeah, Titch Klinza.
Yeah.
The handle is one other place in the net.
I never knew what to make of that name, but I was like, all right, I can't pronounce this, but she has good ideas.
Yeah. So yeah, I should probably change it. I don't know if I can do that or not.
Because when I go back to the forums and I go digging for ideas in old conversations, and so I'll see it there and I'll be like, oh yeah, RPG.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I'll hit the forums now and then. Once in a while, I'll even post something in my own little thing, like I'm working on this project. I'm gonna post this here.
there's very little activity there now. It's an older style forums. They're very clunky, but yeah.
I still like it better than Discord. I can't find diddly on Discord.
Yeah, Discord doesn't appeal to me. I really miss
Can't
the old
search
style
it.
forums.
I can't search it. I can search the old style forums.
They had a great
Wow.
search feature.
Yeah, I can do that, and then I can look at what other people have done, and then you can send a message to them.
And you can steal their ideas.
Well, yeah, that's what you do, right? Like I said, that's why whenever I was like, hey, here's an idea, and people like, oh yeah, I was like, if I didn't want you to use it, I wanted to put it out there.
I know. Well, it's like I said, it's been what good 15 years. I think we've kibitzed, and we've been on for an hour. So thank you for coming on. I'll just send another message, Steve, and maybe we can reset this and do the interview with him later. But again, thank you so much. And again, thanks to Dawn and people who came in and chatted. I appreciated that. This is Tom from Tabletop Tap Room and RPG Grandma. And we're saying good night.